Rantz.
Life and motherhood uncensored.
Welcome back to Mama Rantz with Al.
And Allie.
Hey girl, how you doing this week?
Ooh, I am doing pretty good. We have some exciting things coming up and had some, I guess you could say, exciting ish things happen last week. So.
Oh, yeah? Do you want to elaborate on that anymore?
So last week we're going to go with that as like my mom win this week. Is last week I finally made the time to go to the doctor. I've just been having, terrible headaches. I've been having terrible lower back pain, and I've had like these 2 moles that have been looking a little questionable. So all those things happening, all at the same time, I'm like, you know what, I just need to make the time. And, I've been putting it off months and months and months now. And so finally went, and now I have to get these moles removed. I had to get an x-ray of my back. I got to go to physical therapy. Like, I had to get blood drawn, like all these different things, which I'm so happy that my new doctor here at the space is extremely thorough. I love that. But holy moly, I was not anticipating all of that. But I mean, it's cool. So I will take it, and I'm appreciative that he's taking me serious and my issues serious. So yeah, so I'm happy that I finally did it. And then this week, we have my little sister-in-laws coming for 2 weeks, so that's super exciting. They've never, stayed with us this long, and like I would say, I'm not saying like this long, but like stay with us this long without, my in-laws, my mom, my mother-in-law, my mother-in-law, and my father-in-law. So that's pretty cool and exciting. My little sister used to do it every summer for like weeks or a month at a time. So they were excited to, do that once they got to like her age to be able to do those things. So really excited, really exciting times.
That is amazing. First off, I want to say, one, I'm not happy about your back and your moles, but man, that is such a win to really make the time to do those things. I know it's so sad because we talk about self-care and how important it is, and nobody wants self-care to be going to the doctors. But when you are a stay-at-home mom that holds home the fort and you're doing it day in and day out, taking that time for yourself is so important, because I feel like we just put ourselves on the back burner too often. I know for
always,
with me taking care of my mom and her appointments and all of her specialists, the cancer doctor, the neurologist, the regular doctor, the, dermatologist, her urologist. It's like, there's so many doctors, and then there's B-man's doctors. And then it's me getting on my husband's ass to make his own doctor's appointments. Like, go, I need you to handle you, because I can't handle everything else. And just to get that time for yourself is so important, because I feel like we just, we're moms. So we think we're super mom, and we're like, as long as everybody else is squared away, but you have to take care of yourself first to be able to take care of everyone else. That is such a big mom win. It's a sad mom win, but it's
not. It's going to be fucking exhausting. Yeah. And like this physical therapy is literally 2 times a week for an hour each time. And then it's for literally 2 months. So I'm like, it's going to be a continuous thing. I mean, I'm excited because hopefully it like whips my ass into shape a little bit, and because I need that too. But I mean, overall, like it was a win, but also like, fuck, like there is like something seriously fucking wrong with me. So that sucks. But I mean, overall, I mean, it's great. I mean, it's comforting though, knowing that like, hey, like there is something wrong, like let's fix it, versus like, bitch, you're just fucking stupid. Like go drink some water, But so that's, I mean, it's cool.
Did they find anything on the moles, or are you just having them removed and tested?
So they, my primary care, he looked at both of them, and he said the one that was like on my back-ish, he was like, yeah, that one definitely needs to come off. And then, this one that's like on my chest, he said we can just take that one off too. Like if you said like it's been changing, blah, blah, blah. But he said they're going to send it off anyways. But he's like,
Okay.
yeah, I definitely just think that we should take them off. And if they're nothing, great. If they are something, we're getting rid of them. But
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'd rather them be gone
Yeah.
anyways. I don't need them. I won't miss them.
That's great. On a personal note, I will say I was like mad at my dermatologist last year because when they went, I mean, she was thorough and efficient, but when she decided to scrape them off, one was on my lady area and she scraped that shit off so roughly. Like it would have been better for her to cut it and suture it. Now I have this big mark right there. And I'm like, come on. Like, everyone's pretty self-conscious about their lady area anyway, but now it's like I have this big scar. And she did the
Oh my
same thing on my
God.
head. So I was like, you couldn't have just done the slice like I see everybody else and like the little sutures.
I have never had anything. I've never had a mole removed.
Okay, it did not hurt. It didn't hurt.
I was like,
it didn't hurt.
I have such a fear of like.
Now I'm making.
Listen, like I'm not even being over dramatic. Like literally, when Brent had called me and I was like, oh, like I made my appointment for physical therapy today. Blah blah. He's like, oh, what about your moles? And I'm like, yeah, I haven't done that yet. Oh, why not? I'm like, oh, I'm like a little like scared. I literally started crying just like thinking about it. I don't know. I don't do good with needles. I really like once I see them and I know they're going in my. I'm not worried about the hurt part. I'm worried. I just like when I see needles and knowing that they're gonna go in my skin, like it really fucks with me. And I literally will literally start blacking out. And the fact that one is literally right here and I can see what's going on, it scares me.
Does scalpels bother you as much?
All the above.
All of the above. I don't know if they can freeze it since they need to test it because freezing's not that bad. They just put that rod on it and it's frozen and it's gone and it heals up. I didn't feel any pain. On the plus side, on your back, you won't have to see it at all. Make your husband go with you.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna either do that, but then I have a toddler running around in the room too. I mean, she could be a good distraction, but then she could want me in the middle of it, and then what the fuck
she
am I
could
gonna do
be.
then? Yeah, I could just make the girls go with me.
Yes. I think that Addie would be a great empathetic person to sit there and hold your hand and be like, it'll be okay, honey.
Yeah.
Bubbles might be on her phone, but
yeah, I just need like a constant, like if you talk to me, like when I had to get my blood drawn, which them bitches poked me like 6 times and they didn't get shit. Well, anyways, besides the point, I was like sitting there like, oh, I am on like, I am going, I'm going. And they're like, are you okay? I'm like, I am not okay. Like, I don't even look at the needle. I literally am looking elsewhere. I'm looking at TikTok, like scrolling over here and my arms like in left field because I can't look at it. I don't want to know what's going on. And oh my gosh, I end up in outer space every time. I really do.
So just accept that. Just accept it going in. And I'm sorry if I made this worse. Like a jackass. But I didn't have the problem with any of that. I was just mad at how it looked after. I've had other things removed and it was just this doctor because every other doctor I've had, you can't tell. It heals up and it's like, it might be just a little line. Whereas this one, now I'm going to show you sometime because my hoo-ha is not perfect anymore. Not that it was perfect before, but it had a
right in the middle.
And it's right there. You can't even like landing strip and hide it. You would have to bush and hide it. And I can't do a bush. Yeah.
Damn.
No offense to anyone that does bushes. To each their own. You do your bush. It's so uncomfortable, especially in the heat down here. I need to be clean or else I feel like I smell. I feel like I'm gross. And now there's this constant reminder of this woman who I'm very thankful that she cared about cancer, but she did not care about the result of my hoo-ha. Vagina.
Right.
Why am I not saying vagina? I don't know. No, it's really like my pelvis area. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's not actually on the vagina, but names of genitalia. I am a firm believer in teaching my son proper names of genitalia.
Amen.
This world friggin' sucks. So, man, I get such kickback about this. And my husband likes to use wiener, and I probably should be okay with wiener because I'm sure people know when someone says someone's touching my wiener, they probably know what that means. But I'm always like, no, penis, penis, penis. And he does do it, but nobody else understands. Like everyone else in our family is kind of like, no, you need to call it their privates, or no, you should call it this like nice word. And I'm like, no, it is his penis. There's nothing wrong with the word penis. There's nothing wrong with the word vagina. We can teach those terms. It is anatomical.
Right. Yep. I'm with you on that. Yeah.
Do you get kickback? No.
I mean, it's never really come up in a discussion yet. I mean, we say it to Tootie, and I mean, she's never really repeated it back, but I mean, when we say it, I feel like she knows what we're talking about, but
She knows about it.
we also, we just haven't really been in the position to like say it around other people. So, but I also was a kid that grew up saying not the right words. Like ours was tutu, which I'm not really a fan. And
well, I would also never know what it, like if you had told me that someone was touching your tutu, I'd believe someone was like grabbing your dress.
Right. Yeah. And so I don't like it, and all the research that I've seen, and, you know, everything has just made it so like, you know, I also wasn't as comfortable as like growing up. I was never comfortable with saying vagina or penis. I wasn't. And maybe it was because we didn't say those words.
Yeah.
But like, I don't want that to be the same for my kid. I want her to be able to speak and, you know, say those words. They're not fucking bad words. Nothing's going to happen to you by saying them. So yeah, it's important to me that she learns. So just in the real world, like it just shouldn't be an uncomfortable thing.
Yeah.
And even for adults to hear those words coming from children, it shouldn't be uncomfortable for them either.
Yes.
You know?
Just like breastfeeding is uncomfortable to some people. Like let's put that on the list of things that should not be uncomfortable to individuals. But you know, and then you grow up and you become an adult and you're kind of, you know, I can see how that'd be awkward still feeling uncomfortable about it and then having to break out of that shell. My mom fail this week. I ordered, so I realize we have no wreath for the 4th of July. I'm very patriotic. You know, obviously, your husband is my family. He serves, my brother served, my father served. I serve our country in a different way. My grandfathers, both of them, in World War II. And we always have something. And for whatever reason, our wreath got destroyed. So I was like, okay, I need to get a wreath. And my son has been trying to use our bubble gun, and I can't let him use the bubble gun because then he throws it and we no longer have a bubble machine. So I see this really cute, it's a lawnmower for 2-year-olds.
Yep.
That has bubbles in it that they can push and the bubbles will come out. And I'm like, this is great. It's only $12. I'm going to get this. I put in the order with a few other items. I go to pick it up at the store. I'm sitting in my spot and I'm thinking to myself, why the hell are these people coming to every other car but mine? I put my spot in. I told them what color the car is. Well, it hits me. I'm at the wrong freaking store. I'm at the damn wrong store. Like, we have 2 of these stores in our city, and I'm at the wrong one. So I had to cancel the order and then run in to the damn store and try to get everything.
Right.
Which it was successful. So my mom win is that my son really loved this toy. But to have a double fail, I somehow bought a broken one. It came with a crack on it. Yes. So I get it here. I get it all together. And Matt looks at it and he's like, hey, I don't think the bubbles are supposed to be coming out of here. He's like, there's a little crack right by where you're supposed to pour it in. And I'm like, oh no. So my son loves it, will not let you take it from him. Had a massive meltdown. He literally, if I had put a Fitbit on him, he probably lapped like a quarter of a mile. He just kept going back and forth with this thing. And Stella, the French bulldog, is having a ball. She's jumping at the bubbles.
Oh my gosh.
And now I'm thinking to myself, how am I going to take this away from him long enough to return it to get one that is not broken? So I have like 2 mom fails in that whole scenario. But at least he liked it.
At least he liked it. And it wasn't a waste of $12. So now you know he loves it. And now you know that you got to go back to go exchange it.
It's true. It's true. But now I have 50 million exchanges to do because I love my mother. I give her an early birthday gift. They're these pool noodles from Costco. And they're not your normal pool noodles. They're actually raft material pool noodles. And I'm like, this is what we need, because we had gotten these pool noodles and then all over B-Man is pool noodle material because it had been in the sun. So I'm like hosing him down. I'm like, oh my God, this is going to get in his lungs. I'm like freaking out. So I basically toss them all out. My mom was really sad about it. So I'm like, I'm going to get these 2 noodles. They were on sale. They were $20 each. And, you know, well, my mom goes to open one and there's a rip in it. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, so now I got 2 things I have to return at 2 different stores. I'm like,
was this the same trip
this week? No, separate trip. Separate trip. My luck is not with me for purchasing this week.
Shit.
A little more on the serious note, but we're going to be talking circumcision. Do you want to start us off, Allie?
Sure. So I don't have a son. I have a daughter, so I didn't necessarily have to think about the circumcision when I got pregnant. I mean, initially, yes, but then I found out it was a girl, so it was just not even a thought anymore. But then everyone around me, I say everyone, but there were like, you know, 4 or 5 women in my life who got pregnant shortly after me, and every single motherfucking one had boys. So then all this topic of, you know, circumcision was coming up from, you know, my cousin or my best friend. And it's just like, I didn't even think about it until, you know, like all these boys were coming around me. So watching my best friend go through what she did with circumcision and how her son reacted, and, you know, doing like our own research, like we're on the page, like me and my husband are on the same page as if we did have a boy, we don't think that we necessarily would. You know, no hate to anybody who did. I just, you know, gathering everything that I have around me with personal experience from, you know, best friend or people that I know, it just, to us, it just made us, you know, want to do it less and less and less. You know, if we had even considered it in the beginning, it just diminished it even more. But
so what's one of your big reasons why you wouldn't want to?
I would say number one is, it's cosmetic, you know, in our eyes. It's like a necessary thing. You know, people go, you know, pros and cons with infection, or pros and cons with the cleanliness, pros and cons with, oh, we don't know how to take care of it because, you know, dad is circumcised, so he's not confident in teaching said son to take care of it. But I just think that, you know, my husband is very, I mean, for him, I mean, I'll put his business out there. He is circumcised, and he's even on the fence of it. And so that's, I'm cool. I respect him. I want to do, what we think is best. But yeah, I mean, I just think that how we want to educate ourselves to do that is what we're going to do. And also we're just more of the parents so we're very child-led, and Tootie, we're going to let her make the decision to pierce her ears. So it would be kind of like the same situation as far as circumcision wise. If he wants to, when he's like 17, 18, older, whatever, I mean, it could be 12 and he's like, I want to do it. I'll talk about it then. I just don't want to do it too early. I don't want to do it. It's not necessary to us. So
I hope he doesn't want it later in life. And the only reason I say that is because I talked to a friend who knows actually several males who ended up having to get it done later in life because they were one of the few anomalies that did have issues and needed to be circumcised. And it is, from every experience she told me, was terrible older. But, medically, there's definitely the thought of, oh, it's cleaner. But as long as you know how to clean a penis with foreskin still on it, you'll be able to mitigate any of those issues, and you can teach your son how to properly clean it. Now my child is circumcised. He is a male. My husband's circumcised, and we went on the fence about this. I am Catholic, and what's funny about that is in Judaism, they practice circumcision, but in the catechism, they actually tell you not to circumcise, which is kind of interesting for such a large Catholic population being circumcised in the United States. And I know other countries do not do this at all because they see this as body mutilation. And so for me and Matt, we were really on the fence about it. And I do have several friends that are doctors or surgeons or nurse practitioners. And, they push to do it because the child is less likely to have urinary tract infections. The Mayo Clinic actually has some great data on later on in life, males are actually less likely to get STIs than males that are not circumcised. I guess maybe because it would keep the bacteria possibly in the foreskin
away. Yeah. Well, keep it in.
But it also decreased the risk of penile cancer. Now, I haven't seen the numbers on this, so I'm one that went and circumcised my child. But if I told you the real reason why we did, it was because I heard the horror stories of the guys that had to do it later in life. And my husband circumcised and was like, well, there might be a lot of questions, in our son saying, why don't I look like daddy? Whatever it might be. So we went ahead and did it. They do claim that, this is according to the Mayo Clinic, that along with the less penile cancer, for whatever reason, women that have partners that are circumcised are less likely to have cervical cancer. I feel like this is not a causal relationship. So I feel like this data might be a little skewed for that one. I don't think you can, really state that one causes the other or helps the other in that case, but they do list it as one of the things. But it is important to know that the risks for being uncircumcised you can definitely manage just by educating yourself and everyone that's going to be washing the child and then the child. But I know that around the world, it's less and less popular except for religious reasons or in the United States. So it was a tough choice for us. We ended up going with circumcision. But I hated having to get my son, having to get it done and then having to do these things where you peel the you don't peel, but when something's
You pull
healing,
the
you have
skin
to
back.
make sure
Yeah.
you pull the skin back
Yeah.
and put Vaseline on it.
I will say I also hate that circumcision is even a talk with moms. I'm just going to say that. Like the boy moms that I, know have mentioned to me that it's like, people ask you, like, are you going to do it or are you not? Like, why the fuck is it even a question? And why the fuck are you concerned with what the fuck I'm doing with my kid's fucking penis or not? Like, that annoys me. And that would drive me crazy if I had a boy or was pregnant with a boy. Like, leave me the fuck alone. Leave me and my fucking kid's penis alone.
So luckily, you know what? Out of all the crazy crap that has been said to me and asked to me, we were never once asked about circumcision. It was literally just me and Matt asking each other, and then our doctors asking if we had wanted it. But surprisingly, no. And I just reached out to people that I know had boys and asked what they decided and why, and if they knew any research on it. And then I talked to my friends in the medical community and kind of, tried to balance that out. But it's so hard being a parent, having to make all these decisions.
Yeah.
I can make a quick decision for myself, but nothing will make you second guess yourself like having to make that decision for a little child that you don't know if is going to hate you 15 years down the road because you made that decision for them.
Yeah. I guess that's what I like. There's this TikTok page who literally just strictly talks about circumcision, and it's like this group of
interesting.
It's like and they just literally like go to universities and say, are you circumcised or are you not? And then they say yes or no, and they say, would you circumcise your kids, yes or no? And the amount of people that men like say no they wouldn't, or I'm uncircumcised and I won't do it, like it's like maybe like that's also another indicator to me. It's like the reasons that they're saying too is like I don't know, just a little more eye-opening too, like
okay, so what are some of the reasons if someone was circumcised that they didn't want their kids circumcised? Now this is just going to give me mom guilt.
I said a lot of them just said it was unnecessary, and it's a big movement right now of consent, and a lot of them were like, I would not have done it if it were up to me as an adult now. And so a lot of them are saying no.
I'm sorry, B-man.
No.
I didn't want you to go through the pain later.
You might be the one, that, some people are thankful, and some of them were thankful that, mom had taken, parents had taken care of it. But there were just so many that were just saying like, no, and I wouldn't do it to my kid, or I wouldn't have done it, now. But I'm like, but also, they don't know what that life is like to have, the skin to take care of it. So if the roles were reversed and they had it, like, what would that entail? Would you still stay true to that? Which, I mean, there were some who were still like uncircumcised and they said like, we would not change it. So I don't know. I guess, if that time comes and I have to make a decision because we have a son, then I guess, I'll do more research then and see is there any updated information? Like, is there anything new, or is it still the same shit? Like, but I mean, thankfully I'm not there, and I don't want to have to be there. Hopefully not, because that's just hard. It's a hard decision. It's hard.
So I think it is important to listen to what men have to say about it. And a lot of it was left up to my husband, because I feel like this is a realm that I don't know a lot about, son self-esteem issues.
Oh no, I don't think that. I mean, it's over. It is what it is, and now it's your job, Matt's job, to feel secure in his body, and and I mean you can do that, and you have your reasons,
but
and
it's so.
If you ever really did question you have your reasons, and that's that. You made the best decision for him at the time.
Yeah, he's going to learn real quick when he becomes a parent that, like, I'm doing the best I can with the information I have at the moment. I wish I could research the shit out of every move I make, but
Yeah,
I can't. I can't.
I feel
Man, I
that.
can't. I wish there was a way. You'd have to ask men later in life that have gotten it done if there was a way to find out if it impacted their sexual relationships,
Yeah.
not because of self-esteem, but because of feeling. I think that would be a really important thing to kind of educate mothers on, because if I knew that I was going to do something that might deaden my child's sensations for later in life, or, you know, that would definitely make me not. That would definitely, like, being able to impact my child's, my God, why didn't I think of this before I got my son circumcised? It's such a serious thing now that I think of it that way. Now that
Yeah.
I
So
think,
I've
man,
heard that before.
but it'd be interesting to hear from men that had it done later in life what the effect was.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
To
I
listen
would
to
love to know
someone that
too.
was an adult, yeah, and had those relationships sexually beforehand and then after, to see if there was a change. Because then I'd definitely feel like shit.
I mean, it is what it is. I mean, yeah,
It's
I mean,
true.
it's not, I
We're
mean,
there. I mean, I don't regret the decision. I don't mean
yeah,
it to sound like that. It's just, you're right. It's a big decision for you to have to
it
make
is.
for
Yeah.
them, for something that they're going to live with for the rest of their life. And,
Yep.
I get what you mean with the ear piercing. I see kids that pierce like their brand new baby's ears. And, I think to myself, well, crap, what if they hate earrings or it hurts their ears or whatever, and they aren't old enough to really tell you, like,
Yeah.
Mom, I don't want this. This hurts. Or,
Right. Yeah.
it's a tough one, man.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, my mom, I think I got my ears pierced when I was like little. And then I got them re-pierced again once I hit, mm, I think it was like in middle school ish. And then like I made a decision, but she was like, oh yeah, you got your ears pierced when you were little. And I mean, like, it didn't affect me because I didn't get a choice. I loved them. I just was little, and I learned how to take them out, and then they closed up because I just didn't
Mm-hmm.
know what the hell I was doing. And so then once I got to middle school, like, or however old I was, if it was elementary or whatever, but I was old enough. I remember telling my mom, I want them so bad. I want them so bad. And I appreciated them so much more. And I took care of them because I was able to, I just, I felt more confident because I made the decision. I wanted to do it. And I think that was just like the same thing with Tooties. That was important to us for, she appreciates it and she wants to, it's her gig, and we didn't make the choice for her. So yeah, we'll see. Whenever she makes a
Yeah.
decision, she's 4, 5, 6,
I was young
10.
too.
Yeah.
So, man, we really need to end on a happier note, because it's such it's such a tough topic. What funny thing did your kid do this weekend? This whole week? Name one funny thing that your child did.
Oh God.
My son has come into the phase where we bring him in the pool with us, and we have this sun shelf, and he knows to turn himself around, get himself in, and we're there, obviously. But he'll pop out and he'll act like he's going to go to my mom and go see Nana. And then he gives you this smile, this mischief smile. And then he tries to run around the pool. And you are caught like, no, no running around the pool. Oh my gosh. But this smile, this mischievous smile, when he does it, it's like, it is the sign of my future is going to be difficult.
So I don't have a like a funny kid story, but I have a funny husband story. So I went running around to go grocery shopping, and like we have a Publix and a Walmart literally right next to each other. So I ran to Publix, and Publix didn't have what I needed, so I jumped over to Walmart, and it was Father's Day. And Brent had called me, and he's like, "Oh, I really want Chipotle for Father's Day." I'm like, okay, like I don't like Chipotle, I really don't. So I was like, ew. And he's like, well, what about Zaxby's? And I'm like, I don't really want that either. But I was like, do whatever. Like, just go ahead and put the order, and I'll go pick it up. Just don't get
Day. Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, don't get anything for me. Like, just whatever it is. Just if you put in an order at Zaxby's, just let me know. Okay, cool. So, he initially wanted Chipotle. He never told me that he was going to put an order at Zaxby's. So I drive to fucking Chipotle. I go there, and I'm like, hi, I have an order for Brent. And he's like, Joan. And I'm like, no, Brent. And he's like, Joan. I'm like, no, Brent. And he's like, are you sure it's at this location? I'm like, is there 2 Chipotles? And he's like, yes, ma'am, there is. And I'm like, oh, fuck. So I leave, and I'm calling.
So you thought you did what I did.
Oh my fuck. So I call, and I was like, did you put it at the wrong Chipotle? He's like, I didn't order at Chipotle. I ordered at Zaxby's. I'm like, motherfucker. Like, so I am like, okay, like I'm going there now. I'm like, your shit is probably soggy as fuck sitting on the counter. He's like, oh, well, it's been ready for 20 minutes. I'm like, and I had to drive 20 minutes home. So I'm like, you're eating these soggy ass fucking wet fucking waffle fries, whatever, crinkle fries, whatever the hell they have there.
For Father's Day.
Fuck yeah! I get it home. Yeah, I get it home, and I'm like, here's your soggy ass fries, and then he eats everything but the fries. And I'm like, you eat those motherfucking fries. I was like, I drove there, and you're gonna eat your 8 little fucking wings. And he's like, I don't normally eat the fries. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Okay. Eat your motherfucking fries. And so he just like looks at me, and then I go to the bathroom, I come back out, and he's eating these fucking soggy ass fucking wet fucking french fries from all the fucking humidity or fucking steam in the box. I'm like, so nasty. And he's like, it's okay. I'm like, yeah, it was so fucking dizzying. I ran around fucking Valdosta, or let me not say Valdosta. I ran around town like a crazy person.
So what you're saying is your husband really enjoyed his Father's Day dinner.
Oh, yeah, he did. As I glared at him, I'm like, this fucking crazy shit. I'm like, you gotta let a bitch know.
Does he do that crazy shit to you too, where he's like, you better eat it?
No, he doesn't. But I also fucking I put it out clear where the fuck I need you to go, what I need you to get, and how many of each thing I need you to get. Okay?
Yes.
Like I put it out, and like there is no way you can fail. Okay. And he just like, I talked about 6 different restaurants, and then let's play guess who. Let's play guess who, where you're going. Like, fuck.
Oh, that's funny. Well, on that note, we're going to wrap up. So if you like what you're listening to, please like and subscribe on your favorite podcast app.
Bye.